Hi everyone, Andrew here for ABELI Reviews, and just as the title suggests, we are doing more Elite Dangerous content. Today we're going through the training simulations for docking and travel. Docking and travel is one of those key things that you're going to have to do a lot in Elite Dangerous. So this will be a lot of fun, shouldn't take us too long, and I bet we're going to rock it. So why don't you come along while we complete this tutorial. First things first, we got to load into the game, so that's going to happen. And as you can see, we're going to be flying in a Sidewinder, which is the starting ship. Right, and we'll probably have a little communication.
Now it's time for you to help me out. I need you to do a cargo run for me. Ordinarily, I'd take care of this myself, but I'm not on the best of terms with the security forces over in Azeban City, so you're going to have to take my place.
Cool. So she wants us to move some cargo for her. That's pretty easy. All we have to do is return to the surface. And you can see here in the blue text, it's telling us the same thing. Select return to the surface. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And it's basically saying I can use my directional keys and the letter and the A button on my controller to do that. So the directional pad looks like a plus, and the A button is a button that has an A in it. From there, we're going to get to some real fun here. Let her talk first. So this is kind of cool. So we're actually going to have to launch. So we're going to hit launch. Now we're free to go. Because this computer, this ship doesn't have an advanced docking computer, I will be the one actually operating it. So I'm going to use my right joystick to give myself some thrusters up. And you can see I'm doing that now. And now I'm going to turn a little bit so I'm nice and in line. And I'm going to use my thrusters to move forward. I think this is one of the most deceptively tricky things that you can do when you're starting out in Elite Dangerous. And that's leaving these sort of starports, these large situations like this, because it's often easy to crash into something or kind of forget where you're at. So there's really no shame in keeping your landing gear on, because you're going to go slower when it's out. And then in addition to that, there's no shame in just going a little bit slower. Take your time. You're in no rush most of the time to go through here. And you get that. Everything's going away smoothly. No one's in our way. Everything's coming along nicely. Now that we've kind of exited this area, I'm going to go ahead and press L on my keyboard to bring in my landing gear. Perfect. And just as she said, we need to get 5 kilometers away. So I'm just going to put some pips in my engines, which is up on the D-pad. Press my right bumper to start boosting, flying away, and then B on my controller to boost away to really give us that distance. You can see here, mass lock in the bottom right just came undone. So now we're ready to go. The next thing we want to do is we need to get to this other location, this other place. We're going to go ahead and press J to turn our frame shift drive on. Perfect. So now we're getting into Super Cruise, which is kind of like that light speed mode, lets us travel the stars at great speeds and in distances. Okay, so I'm going to look with my head to the left-hand side, and I can see that system, Iranan, is right here. So I'm going to click it, and I could do lock and engage hyperdrive. That kind of does it all at once, but we'll do this one step at a time. So I'm just going to lock that destination.
Right. Now that your target
now
is
let's
locked
look back
in,
here.
Clear to make the jump to hyperspace. Point your ship at the
And I use J for that as well. So basically J is the thing that lets me go from one location to up to that next level to that next level. So let's line ourselves up. And let's press J again. And here we go. This is a really nice tutorial because it teaches you sort of the basics of just travel in Elite Dangerous. And I think that's one of those things that those of us that have been playing this for a little while kind of take for granted. It is quite alien to many people to sort of understand that there's these different instances, right? There's while you're at a starport, there's while you're traveling around in a specific solar system, and then there's traveling from systems to systems. All of that kind of comes into play. We don't want to hit that planet or that sun, right? So we had to zoop away. So I'm going to slow down a bit. Let's figure out where we have to go next.
This guy gets a little twitchy if things don't run like clockwork. Go ahead and select the station on your nav panel, then use your compass there on the left of your radar.
Alright, so we're looking for this station based on the comments.
Just so you know, the compass indicator will show that
And we'll lock it up.
when you're pointing towards your target,
So what she just referenced, that compass indicator, that's right kind of in center of my viewport right now. You can see that 59%.
Tricky, Commander, so you'll want to keep an eye on your distance, speed,
That
and
is...
alignment at the bottom left of your cockpit display.
Yep.
Once you're within 1,000
My
feet of
goodness,
your
she's a
target,
chatty
going less
person.
than 1,000 kilometers per second, you should be safe to drop
We'll
out.
start to align, you'll see what I
If you
mean.
keep your speed in the blue zone, you'll be less likely to overshoot your mark. But if you do, you can always loop back around and try again.
And exactly what she described. So I was making sure my compass was pointed directly at. You can see that that nice blue dot is now centered. What she's referencing is on my left hand over here, I have my distance and my speed to be able to drop off. Also my alignment. Notice if I look away, my alignment is now no longer checked because I'm not aligned with where I want to go. Perfect. So we're going to speed up so we stay in the blue. And what that's going to do is basically say as long as you keep your speed within the blue, and it'll start to get there, and you can see that right here. As long as I stay in that, I will not have any problems dropping out to this space. If I go too quick, what'll happen is I'll overshoot it. My momentum will carry me too far. So we're going to slow down just a little bit so we stay in that blue. And as you can see, we'll slowly get closer and closer. As the distance between us starts to shorten, on the left-hand side panel here, you're going to see little lines. There's the first one. My distance is getting closer. We want to land in the blue for both of these. So we'll stay in alignment, line everybody up. We're slowing down, but I bet we're going to go too quick. Let's see if we can try to fix it. Nope. We missed it. So that's okay. What we're going to do is just turn around so that way we align with it. There we are. Look at that. We stay in our blue, and I guess what happened is I had just given it too much gas. That's okay. So now we're moving closer. Our speed and our distance meters on the side here are starting to line up nice and slowly. I'm going to continue to slow down just a little bit so that way I line up. And I want to really stress, it is okay to overshoot. It is okay to bump stuff when you're parking. It is okay to bump stuff when you're leaving those parking garages. It's a game, you know, we all get distracted, things come up, so don't feel bad. Every ship has shields and hulls, and you can repair it. Not a big deal. So get comfortable with sometimes making a mistake. That'll happen, and that is totally okay in Elite Dangerous. So we're getting closer. You can see here my speed is correct. Now I just need to press J to disengage. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then it'll drop me off into this section, because that was the location we were trying to go to.
You made it. Be sure to request docking before you enter the station. Flight controllers take the jobs very seriously. Tend to get upset if you start trespassing.
Exactly what she just said. I need to make sure I actually request docking. And we've made other videos before this about this, right? So I'm within distance.
Still haven't requested that permission to dock, Commander.
So we're going to bump over and request docking.
You're clear for approach, Commander. Just don't
Perfect. So they gave me access to dock. Now I have essentially 10 minutes to get to landing pad 43. But look at this thing. This cube is confusing. How do I get there? Well, they put on some visual cues for you. You'll notice on this little simulation here, there are directional arrows kind of pointing to the right-hand side. That's letting me know that that's where the entrance is. Now, of course, there's that word target on my screen, but that's just for this tutorial. In the actual game, that's not there. Those directional arrows always are there, and that lets you know where the entrance is. So we're going to kind of go to the right. They also want me to put my landing gear out now. I'm going to recommend you actually wait till you're just a little bit closer. When you put your landing gear out, it instantly makes you slower. And I'll show you what I mean. We're going about 200. Landing gear out. Look how quickly my speed has dropped. Now, that might be okay. You might be totally comfortable with that. For me, I still want to get a little bit closer. I'm not necessarily impatient, but I don't want to sit there and go that slow. But you can see our arrows did point to us to the right direction. That's where we want to go. There's our entrance. So we're going to go ahead and kind of orientate ourselves with the view. And now we're going to start getting closer. At this point, sure, put your landing gear out if you would like. I'm going to wait just a little bit more, just because I like kind of, I guess, playing dangerously. Pardon the pun. So we're nice and aligned. Everything is coming smoothly. As it starts to rotate, I want to make sure I stay in space. I'm going to hit my landing gear. And now we just have to keep our alignment. little slight turns. I'm in a small ship, so I can handle that.
Passing through the access corridor,
Perfect.
Commander.
And there's
Try to
43.
avoid head-on collisions with
So
exiting
let's
ships.
sort of align ourselves with
Cargo
that.
needs to get there in one piece.
I'm gonna start slowing down.
Good, you're in. You'll want to regulate your speed as you approach the landing pad. Oh, and pay attention to the docking assistance display. You'll need to make sure your ship is facing away from the entrance and that you're centered above the landing pad before you touch down.
Yep.
Remember, you can use your vertical and lateral.
Basically, I use these
speed to
numbers
refine
here
your
to kind of
movement.
align for what she's referencing. Get those nice on my screen. Once they're just about too big, I'm gonna slow down. And now I'm gonna start going down. Let's see how far away we are from our landing pad. Oh, not too bad at all. So we're just gonna give a little bump. And we're gonna keep going down on using the right joystick. Doot, doot, doot. Oh, this is gonna be perfect. And then we got close enough that it triggered.
I might just be able to depend on you after all. I'll be calling on your services
Now we
again,
click go
I'm
to
sure.
hangar.
Till next time, Commander.
Great work. So if you followed all these instructions and maybe didn't overshoot your target, I bet you had a great time and you've completed the tutorial. If you do have any questions, run into any problems, as always, please feel free to throw them in the comments and we'll be happy to help. Otherwise, see you in the next one, and thanks for stopping by. Take care.